Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to be taking a look at a section in our Unit 2, which is on foundational geometry, angle pair relationships. Okay, so let's take a look together. So we start off with some key vocab here. To start off with, we have something called vertical angles, which consists of two angles whose sides form two pairs of opposite rays. All right, well, what is that talking about? If I draw here two lines, all right, the vertical angles are angles that are opposite of each other. So I can have, for example, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. Okay? Now, you also have another set. If I was to put a 3 and a 4 here, I could say that angle 3 and angle 4 are vertical. Okay, as well. Nice. Okay. We're going to find out something kind of interesting about vertical angles, and that is that they're going to be congruent. So that means whatever this is going to be the same across each other. A linear pair is just what it sounds like. It consists of two adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. So here, if I draw a line going straight across, if I have like a ray jumping out of there, I'm going to call this 5 and 6. Now, linear pair is when they add up to form a line, okay? So something that we need to discuss is a straight line's degrees is 180. So what we can say here is the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 is going to equal 180 degrees. These two right here are two of the biggest things in all of geometry. You will see this for the rest of the entire year, all the time. Complementary angles are not angles that give each other complements all day long, but they are two angles whose measures have the sum of 90 degrees. So if I was to draw a picture, I'm going to call this 7 and 8. Kind of knows a trend here. We can say the measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 8 will add up to 90 degrees. You'll notice I have a little m here. That stands for measure. You'll notice I have a little tiny angle here. It just stands for angle. Okay, it's just a symbol to show what it is. The sum of the measures of an angle and its complement is 90 degrees. Okay, so if you hear the word complement, typically that stands for 90. And then supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have the sum of 180 degrees. Well, these two kind of go hand in hand. All right. So if I have, say, this angle right here, okay, 9 and 10, I can say the measure of angle 9 plus the measure of angle 10 will equal 180 degrees. Okay. So complementary, supplementary, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. Okay. And again, the sum of the measure of an angle and supplement is 180. Guys, one thing to point out, and I will stress this to you as we continue on the course, anytime we talk about degrees, please make sure you include the proper symbol, okay, because that does matter. Yeah, here we go. Number 1, the measure of angle 2 is 52 degrees. Find the measure of angle 1, 3, and 4. So one thing we want to do in geometry is label as much stuff as we possibly can. All right, so angle 2 is 52 degrees. All right, so I'm labeling that. All right, from here, I'm going to go ahead and try to revolve around that. So directly across from angle 2 is angle 4, which, again, we just learned this, but these are known as vertical angles. If angle 2 is 52 degrees, angle 4 must also be 52 degrees, okay? Well, now what I want to try and do is I want to figure out what 3 and 1 are. Well, they form a straight line. Okay, I can take my pen, I can place it down, and you'll notice going straight across, 3 and 4, make that pen. So I know that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4, which we know is 52 degrees, equals 180 degrees. So I can subtract 52 from both sides. Okay, and I'm left with 128 degrees. Okay, very nice. Boom, so this is 128 degrees. All right, well, I'm really close to finding all my angles, but I want to find angle 1. Well, don't overthink it. 1 and 3 are vertical angles as well. So if this is 128, this must be 128. And all is good. Okay. So the interesting thing here is, if you would like, okay, you can take a calculator just to kind of back this up. And I notice that I have 4 angles here. I'm going to add them all up for a second. Oops, sorry. If I hit enter, what do you think would be the total degrees for those things going all the way around? Well, 360. Why does that make sense? Well, 360 is a complete revolution of a circle, which think about what we're doing here. We're going all the way around. Okay, so just an interesting way to kind of make sure that you're correct and you know you're right. Okay, number 2, solve for x and y, then find the angle measures. Okay, we want to figure out an equation and try to solve for x and for y. Here's my x. I'm going to notice anywhere else in the problem. Do you see anywhere other x's? No, but I do see directly across them is 64. They are vertical angles. So I can set them equal. 48 plus x equals 64 degrees. Okay, now if I want to solve for that, I may subtract 48 from both sides. X equals, well, let's see here, 26 degrees. Or I'm sorry, 16 degrees. Okay, let's just double check real quick. It's always good to use a calculator, double check. 64 minus 48, boom, 16. Alright, so I've got x. Well, okay, good stuff. If I plug this back in for my problem, because it asked me to find the angle measures, 48 plus 16, it kind of makes sense that it would be 64 degrees. I'm going to do the same thing for y. So I'm going to do 14y minus 24 equals 8y plus 36. Okay. So we've done these in class a little bit. I want to get all the y's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 8y over 6y minus 24 equals 36. Okay, good. Now I want to get y by itself. I can add 24 over. Okay, 6y equals, now if I add them together, I end up getting 40, 60. Divide by 6. Y equals 10. Okay, so I've got x, I've got y. The last thing I need to do is plug 10 back in. Guys, we have our calculator here. So I'm going to go ahead and do it down here. 14. The y we just found is 10. Minus 24. 116 degrees. Okay. If this is 116, straight above it is also going to be 116 degrees. Let's do a super quick check. I'm going to add all 4 of these together. 116 plus 64 plus 116 plus 64, 360. I know I'm right. Okay, wonderful. All right, flip to our back real quick. All right, so I just did like 3 minutes of video there and realized I made the entire mistake there. So everybody makes mistakes. All right, we take a look here. This one's a little trickier because I've got an x here and I got an x beside it. They're not across from each other. So I can't do vertical angles here. Instead, I have to form a linear pair. A linear pair adds up to 180. So I'm going to go ahead and take 2x plus 8 plus 3x plus 17 and add up to 180, not 360 like I was doing. Hee. Oops. Okay. So now over here, combine like terms. All right. I get 5x plus 25 equals 180. I can subtract 25 from both sides. So minus 25, minus 25. 5x equals 155. Divide, and I get x equals 31. Cool. All right. So if I plug this back in over here, 2 times 31 is 62, plus 8 is 70 degrees. If this is 70 degrees, this must be 70 degrees. Okay. And then, of course, if I want to find the angles next to it, what I can do is just do 180 minus 70. All right. Oops, sorry. To find the adjacent angles as well. 110 degrees, 110 degrees. Well, I still have to find y. All right. So, like right here, we figured out that this angle down here, 5y plus 15 must equal 70. So I can solve this real quick. I can subtract 15 over. Okay. I can divide by 5. Y equals 11. And we're all good. This is a very tough problem. It is. Okay. But take your time. Linear pairs, vertical angles, we're all in good shape. Number 3. Given that the angle S is a complement of angle T and the measure of angle S equals 32 degrees, find the measure of angle T. Complement means 90 degrees. Has to add to 90 degrees. So, the measure of angle S plus the measure of angle T has to add to 90. I know that S is 32. Okay. So, real nice and simple. I can subtract 32 over to find the other angle. This is going to be 58 degrees. Okay, I know I'm right because I can take a calculator, add them together, we're golden. Okay, so complementary is 90. Supplementary, okay, or let's read this problem here first. Given that angle U is a supplement of angle V, and measure of angle U is 27 degrees, find the measure of angle V. Well, supplement means 180 degrees. Okay, very easy to get them mixed up. Take a moment to kind of like just remember those vocab words. Measure of angle U plus the measure of angle V equals 180. We know that U rather is 27 degrees. Okay, subtract 27 over 153 degrees. Okay, and again, we can easily check ourselves. 27 and 153 add to 180. We know we're good. Okay. Last part here then. Assume that angle A is supplementary to angle B. Alright, so that means that supplementary is 180, okay, from above here. So A and B, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B adds up to 180 degrees. Okay, and then it says assume that angle A is complementary to angle C. So A and C add up to 90. Determine the measure of all three angles given the following information. Okay, A is x, B is x plus 40, C is x minus 50. Let's start with the first one here. A and B. I'm going to replace the measure of angle A with x. Plus sign. I'm going to replace the measure of angle B with x plus 40. Okay, and it equals 180 degrees. Now, over here, I've got A and C. A again is x, plus sign. C is x minus 50. Alright, let's solve this one first. X and x is 2x. Okay, I can subtract 40 over. 2x equals 140. Divide by 2. X equals 70. Alright, cool. Now, over here, let's check this out. X and x is 2x. And then here I can minus 50 equals 90. I can add 50. 2x equals 140. Divide. Now, if I divide here, wouldn't you know it, I get x equals 70 twice, which is good. Alright, so I know I'm good on both accounts. It asks us to find the measure of all three angles then. Take the 70, plug it back in. So the measure of angle A is just 70 degrees. 70 plus 40, again, calculator work, 110 degrees. Okay, and then 70 minus 50, 20 degrees. We know we're good. Okay, so a lot thrown at you in this one. That's why take your time with this video. Okay, feel free to ask questions along the way. Hopefully that's working out. But by all means, as always, keep up the good work, and as always, good luck. We're all counting on you.